Don't you snarl at me! Hi everyone, this is Triple T, and today I'm taking a look at Cang Toys CT-Longyang-01 Stegsarow, or Snarl, as we have come to know him. First of all, this box is too immense to actually show you in a good way. My set just don't allow it, but as you can see, the box shimmers as I turn it. And you have some different illustrations here for things you can do. This is what you can do with his little taily poo. And that's him, and you have him in robot, dinosaur, and leg mode. And a lot of barcodes and model numbers and stuff like that. It's very, very good looking. There is no doubt about it. This is one of the most beautiful boxes I've ever seen. If they keep this up, I'm going to buy them just because of the beautiful boxes. And he comes with a lot of different things that you can put on your walls or whatever. This is, this is an epileptic fit, but if you turn it a bit slow, you can see different worlds and different situations where their Stegsarow is posed. And there you can see the Predator King from the first set. For some reason, we get some red envelopes or something like that. I don't really know what these are, and I don't think I will be keeping them. Yeah. You get 3 cards, and the first one is the collector's card, and it looks good. And again, you can just go through the motions looking at all the different modes here. Robot mode, Stegsarow. It has some information on the back, which I can't read, unfortunately. And then you get 2 more cards, and this is of Huge Rhino, which was for their Predator King, and of course for Stegsarow. So for the legs, and if you put them together, maybe like that, you get a little illustration. Very nice indeed. I just wish they were aligned better, because now you have to have them in different... Well, you see. And they have some writing on the back with the model number of the Huge Rhino, and nicely done on the sides. Gold for the evil one and silver for the Autobot. Nice, but unnecessary. And you get the manual. I mean, these days we probably watch a video instead, but as a collector, I really do want these. If nothing, just for references about what is included in the set and what you can do with everything. So it looks good. It's well printed. Unfortunately, they take too many steps in every square, so yeah, not great. But you can follow it, but it's not good. He also comes with 2 big knives or swords, or whatever you want to call them, and you can combine them like that to form the tip of the combined mode sword. You also get the locking point for this. We'll take a look at that in a moment. You can separate these, pull them apart, and now you have swords, if you want him dual wielding, and guns. And if you want him holding that, you can just fold those down and tab them in, and you have a gun like that. And you can, of course, do that with both of them. You can also fold the handle in, like that, to peg it into the side of the Dino mode. And these look really great. Unfortunately, on my copy, these don't really tab in as well as they should. They don't fall out, but they just, well, it's a bit too easy to come out, I think. But they look good. Yeah. You get the little locking point for the big sword in 2 pieces. I've combined them already, but they do come separate. Like that. And they are side specific, so you have to be careful on which side you peg them into the swords there. You can also have them as extra effect on him in both robot and, of course, Dino mode. And you can take the tail, which we're going to look at in a minute, and you can just plug it in here if that's something you like. And speaking of the tail, this is his magnificent tail, and just to let you know that this piece broke off because this is a very thin plastic and that tabs in and holds a lot of things on. You don't have to tab that in, so my recommendation, so you don't end up with a broken piece like me, is just not tab that into the combined mode form. Because, yeah, I have great glue, but as you can see, it actually took away the gold there a bit. But it holds on, for now, at least. But these are very, very nice. And you can do a lot of things with them. And I'll show you those when we get to accessories. Or rather before, because we need to... Well, you'll see. Now we need to look at Stegsarow himself, or Snarl. And he is a big beauty. The only thing I don't like is the face. The head is okay, but the face is not in my book. He doesn't look at all snarly. And, well, yeah. I wish this head was a bit more snarlish-like. Because, well, I don't really recognize him like this. And another gripe with the head is it's light-piped for the eyes, so they always look dead, and there is no excuse for light piping these days. Come on, Cang Toys, get with the times. But otherwise, I mean, it looks stylized and nice, but it's not Snarl to me. If we go down the body for detailing, it's very well detailed, and Cang Toys always paints their bots with the best of colors, and everything just feels pristine. And as always, their joints are a bit too stiff in some places, but we'll get to that in a moment. You have some spikes here you can fold up if you want to, but that's more for transformation. The Dino head is just tucked in there, and it has some nice detailing. We'll look at that more when we get to Dino mode. And you have some tampographs here, of course, here as well. It says powerful. Yes, he's so powerful. And a lot of silver and gold and gunmetal grey and all those colors I so like. And the crotch pieces are a bit too big to me. They look like some Gundam things, which also his head does, actually, to be quite frank. I still like Gundam things, but when it's Transformers, I want it to be Transformers. So, and you have some magnificent spikes here on the legs. They are huge, and yes, you can prick yourself. In prepping for this video, I transformed him a couple of times, and I can tell you my fingers are sore. Not to mention my hands. But nice detailing in here as well, on those little lids that we're going to open up later on. And this just looks epic. And the little feet, which I never can get to sit flush. Nicely painted, gold and silver, of course. You have some tampographs on the heels. And on the back, you can see the Dino leg in here. These tend to pop off for some reason. You can just glue them on, I think. I haven't yet, so let's see if they hold up for today, shall we? And he has a fairly big and beefy backpack, even without his tail on. And I don't really mind because he's a Dinobot, so he should have a big beefy backpack. These gold pieces just jumps off every time I transform him. These I did glue on, but in hindsight, I wonder if that was so smart, because it's better that they plop off than that they break something or even break themselves. So I will just have to see how time takes its toll on them. Now for articulation. His head goes to the sides, It is hindered by these side pieces, so unfortunately there is nothing you can really do about that. But it looks good. It can look down, it can tilt, it can, well, most things you want to do. Now the arms are a special case because you have a hinge in here that is making the arms go forward. So they can't go all the way around, just to the belt. And maybe there's a thought behind that, but I think it's strange to build something knowing it won't have the full articulation. But you can go out to there with it, like so. You have a bicep swivel, you have the double jointed elbow, and that's actually die cast, so that's really, really nice. And a feature they have here that I really like is this. The base of the hand, or well, the end of the arm, is actually tiltable in robot mode. This is really, really, really cool because, well, you get some more articulation out of him. But looking at the hands, you can splay the fingers out. You have 1, 2, 3 pegs on each finger. No, 1, 2 on the fingers and 3 on the thumbs. But I think that is more than you need. You can bend the fingers if that's to your liking. And of course, you can hinge the hand outwards. And here we can see the tab for the weapons. And it works, but I think it's sometimes difficult to find. For some reason. I don't know. I'm just strange that way. But before you transform it later on, you want them looking like this. The thumb on top and the hand closed. He has a great big ab crunch. He has side tilt. And yes, it's cool, but at the same time, when you transform him, it drives you mad because you think you've lined everything up and then he just tilts and you realize the other side won't fit in at all. So it's good, but I could have done without it. You can, of course, rotate his waist. And if we fold his skirt pieces up, his legs come all the way forward, all the way back. And he can do the mode to master splits, but I'm not going to show that because I have to untransform stuff. So believe me when I say he can. And without pricking myself here, I'm going to rotate the legs and they give you the full range. And you have a mold breaking thigh swivel. And as you can see, you can just pose these however you want. And that's good and bad because you get annoyed by it in the end. The toes can rotate and go up a bit, down a bit. The foot doesn't really. The heel can also rotate. So it looks fairly nice. Yeah. And I do love this one. I do. He has his negatives, and I'm going to tell you all about them, especially during transformation. But it's difficult for me not to love this bot because I think Cang Toys just makes epic stuff, and this is no exception. But with that said, I hope the rest of the set, which I have on pre-order and one incoming, actually transforms a bit better and tabs in everywhere, because there's a lot of guesswork with this bot. Now, let's bring in the other body part for him. You can do a lot with this tail, and it's not an accessory per se or anything like that, but you can remove it. And this is not parts forming, it's just if you need it, you got it. You can, of course, firstly make it into a weapon, a ranged weapon. You put the sword piece in there. You can angle it however you want, like that. And you fold this piece down. You tab that into his arm if you are able. It's a very, very, very snug fit, as everything with this. And it is molded, so you have to put it in exactly right. So snug and specifically molded. And neither of those things agree with me right now because the camera is on, so I'll just do it like that. And now he can have his weapon of choice, his little bow. And it looks good. It looks really good. unnecessary, but good. Ooh, you can put this together like this. This is a chore, but when it's done, and you like it, hopefully. There are so many different things. This tail actually tabs together, contrary to many parts of him, so at least that's something. And while we're here, we can look at the swinging action here. And you tab this on, and he now has a hand whip, or whatever you call it. So he can whip people. And being hit by those will probably hurt a lot. But what I use this for is actually directly on him. So untab all of these. Easier said than done. This piece is going into this rail. So push it in there until it tabs all the way down. Fold this up, and there are two pegs here that's going into ports here. So line everything up and push it in. And when you have, you can just put him in some epic poses like that. And again, we have those side tilts that bothers me so much. Now, of course, he can hold his accessories, either the combined one or the separate pieces. And as I showed you before, you have that tab in palm system, and it does stay. It does, trust me, it does. You are better off just closing the fingers, but I'm not going to do that now because, well, and there he is, armed up, looking amazing. While we have him in frame, I must tell you that he is very sturdy and the quality feels nice. It's Cang Toys through and through, so I am really happy with him. But let's get those weapons off him, because we need to look at the combined one as well. And this tends to be a bit too heavy for those joints there. But since they don't go all the way down, it doesn't really matter. But in my mind, a Dinobot doesn't really need weapons, because you have everything built in and just going berserk with beauty and firepower he ever takes. Now, for comparison, let's bring in another combiner bot. And this is Fans Toy Scrapper and Magic Squares Brawl. And you can see he is about the same height as Scrapper and a bit taller than Brawl. But Brawl's combined mode is actually taller than his, which is kind of funny. Kinda. I said kinda. Is it fun getting here? No. Is it fun looking at this? Yes! I love this so much. It looks so good. And very, dare I say, realistic. Now, let's get up close and personal with him. Look at this face. This is so cute, this little facey wacy. And you can open up the mouth so it can actually snap things or snarl things, I don't know. You can angle these back and forth, but that's more for transformation. You can actually pose every single one of these spikes however you want. So I'm happy about that. And the legs look epic, but they are the same as the arms before, and you can actually look at the tampographs again. His combined mode name. These legs look really nice, and they are die-cast back here. And of course, we have that epic tail. For articulation, the legs can go back and forth. Due to the fact that these are in the way, I know you can maneuver them around, but no. You have a little, well, basically the same as in robot mode, but you have that bicep swivel, double hinged elbow, which gives you quite a lot of articulation. And the foot is on a ball peg, and these little clawsies are unnecessarily die-cast. As you can see, doing, doing, doing. The hind legs can actually go all the way around if you want them to. You have a very nice double knee joint there, which gives you the full range. Ah, they're so stiff. Unnecessarily stiff. And again, you have a ball point here and a little tab here, so you can just go around. The tail, you could use that. I didn't know that. I learned something now. Yay. Back and forth, back and forth. You can do that with every part of this tail. You can go up and down, and you can hinge everything however you want to. Like that. These can be felled down or up. So you have a lot of articulation on this figure. Now, if you want to arm him up, you can. And you take... Let's just try to move these legs a bit, shall we? You have ports here that you can put the cannons into, like so. And now he can just shoot everyone, even Autobots, because he's a Dinobot, to his heart's content. You can, of course, apply the swords here as well, if you want those combined look. That is a possibility you can do. You can also bring this in and plug it onto here. But I think that looks a bit ridiculous. But you can. I mean, why not? Why wouldn't you? Well, because it looks bad, but still. And now for comparison, I'm not going to bring in my Gigapowers Dinobots because I don't dare transform them, because I've done so much through the years. They are falling apart almost. They're still sticking together, but well, let's just say I don't want to tempt fate. So here he is with MPP-10, and this is the oversized Wei Jiang version. And normally this just towers over everything, but here you can see he is dwarfed besides this epic big Dinobot. And I mean, let's just see them from the side, shall we? And you can see that he is way longer as well, even though the tail is a bit, well. That is it for MPP-10. And to bring in a bigger mainline figure, here is War for Cybertron Skylynx. And he's a bit closer, and in his beast mode, combined beast mode, he actually dwarfs him, which is kind of funny. But as you can see, this is a bit better scaled than the MPP-10. But I don't really care. I think both of them looks great. Let's just say we're done, and this is what the leg mode looks like. And it's quite nice. I think the head should be on the front, though. But you can see a sturdy piece of a dinosaur hugging himself, and he is quite tall. You can see it compared to MPP-10 here. And from every side. And there's so much to look at on this leg. It's difficult to actually... You can see it's quite sturdy, so it works, even though everything is not where it should. Like that piece. And it folds over. Yay! But now, I think we should actually start... Well, you can have these in any way you want. It depends on what look you are after, so yeah, there you have it. Now for my conclusion. I really love this bot. I don't love the transformation, but everything else is so Cang Toys. The quality is good, the paintwork is good, the articulation is awesome, and all the modes just looks amazing, without a doubt. But the fact that the transformation is so difficult drags the score down a bit, and he gets a masterpiece score of 7, and he would have gotten a way higher grade if he actually had a better transformation and better tolerances. But he's still a strong recommendation from me, so if you can still get him, buy him, because it's that good. You want this combiner, I think, if you like the combining Dinobots. But I guess that's it for today. Thank you for watching, and as always, take care.